Hey Libra, it's Jen. Woo, Jen here from NarrowSpirit.net. We just had a card fly out. The Six of Cups. How are you guys doing? I just had a song in my head by Soja. It's I'm sitting here. It's gonna bug me. I gotta find the name. Soja's a reggae band. But the lyrics are, I'm sitting here waiting on you. It's about someone sort of like, I think it's called treading water. Someone just sort of wallowing after a relationship. Yeah, I think it's called treading water. Some feelings, maybe some feelings of nostalgia over a lost relationship. Doesn't have to be romantic, but that song's definitely about a romantic relationship. Kind of drinking and just wallowing, and so sorry if you're doing that. The Six of Cups, it can be a beautiful card of simplicity. Can't talk today. Simplicity and innocence and youth and people from our past and people from our childhood. But it's also a card of nostalgia. And nostalgia is tough because we can remember things so some of you are having a breakup, I'm sorry. Even a divorce with the Hierophant. It's hard because we remember things in a certain way, but if we were really to go back and physically be back in that experience, it may be very different than we remember. So it could be much better, much worse. Our recall bias, as they would call it in research, is the further we get away from something, the less we can remember the facts and the details. However, our emotions, our mental state can also really play tricks on us. So if you've gone through a breakup and, things weren't going so well, just remember the bad things. And I don't mean to dwell on the bad things, but was a reason why it broke up, why you broke up, why the relationship broke up. And to focus on all the good things is again distorting the reality of what it was really like to be in that relationship. And it doesn't mean you didn't have good times and you can't cherish those good times, but it's keeping you stuck. That makes sense. We have the Eight of Wands. It is, so hang on, buckle up, because what are the other cards? It's like once you get your head around, once you stop putting, it's already a theme, you're only my second reading, putting energy into pining and staying stuck and holding on and thinking about the way things were in some situation. It doesn't have to be a romantic situation. And this could be something that happened a really, really long time ago that we still is in our heads, or allowing it to take up space and energy in our lives. Once we can cut those cords or let those things go, it's like the baggage, we become much lighter and we can move forward very, very quickly. You may even get a message. You may get an email or somehow someone from the past may reach out. If this was, it, I don't believe in closure. I think closure is just an excuse to keep the drama going, to keep the cord with someone else. These people believe in these energetic cords, and I believe it in the sense that, yeah, we just not being able to let things go, not being able to move forward for some reason, wanting to keep. I think it was Glennon Doyle who said that, and I just loved it. She's like, it's just the drama cycle, keeping there. So this closure thing, I would really caution you about reaching out to anyone from the past yourself. But if someone does reach out to you, you can just ignore it. You don't have to bite. You don't have to. It takes two people to have that dynamic, and you don't have to participate. So it's going to be almost like a test for you about whether you've really moved on. So if you're telling yourself, oh, I've moved on, I don't think about them, but then you get an email from them or whatever you kids do these days, really observe what you do. Do you get sucked right back in? Is that what you really wanted, where you all talk and no action? So this is, take action to prove what your thoughts. If you're like, no, I'm over it, and then you can't wait and you're obsessing and everything's about this message and trying to figure out what to say back, and you created, you're back in the drama, you're back in the thick of it. Careful. Think about why you're doing that, right? So there's some wisdom here to be gained from past experiences. What's going on here? Oh, they're burning Are they burning books? So the Hierophant, you can see this is like a church in the background, like a the Hierophant's often seen as like a pope or a figure like that. I've more translated it into a more spiritual idea and less negative, but it does have a traditional flavor to it, like big business, big government, religion, traditional things that tell you this is the way, like more dogmatic. And I don't like that. So I think I've changed it into, who's your spiritual teacher? It could be anything. It could be something someone says to you in the grocery store that just brings in a flash of insight to actually seeking out a spiritual teacher that helps trigger your inner work. That's my philosophy. I'm not a big one on other people telling me what's right and wrong, especially when I disagree with it. So I'm not sure. This tarot cards are not literal. They shouldn't be used as literal, but for me then, the Hierophant in this deck is about releasing those social constructs, things you were brought up to believe, and having the strength of character to believe what you believe, and not, so you're supposed to get married and have kids and all this stuff. And it's amazing what society, I do it too. We don't even realize we do it. Like, for example, a friend of mine has been with the same man for, I don't even know how long. It has to be over 20 years now. And they've never gotten married and they've never had kids. And she's older. She's in her 60s now, and she gets so much crap about that. When are you going to get married? You never had kids. Why didn't you ever? You don't know. Maybe she couldn't have kids. Who knows? I did that to someone once. I was like, oh, you can have kids? And that's the plan. Then I found out she had infertility issues. Typical Sag, putting my foot in my mouth. But, you never, it's none of our business why other people live their life. I've been single forever. It doesn't mean I wouldn't want to meet someone, but I'm not interested in having a relationship unless it's the right one. I'm very happy alone. And people can't get over that. Like they just can't. Even my best friend. Um, and so it's having the strength of character, just being like, you know what? I'm not going to force myself to get into a relationship and try to force something because other people, for whatever reason, are uncomfortable or look down upon me. And my friend's not going to get married and have a baby just because she hears that all the time. But we do that though. We do put ourselves in situations because of how we were brought up and what we were expected to do. So you may be really challenging those this month. And that would be pretty Sagittarius. We have the full moon in Sag in June 17th. And that's really like belief systems and philosophy and not being tied down and having the freedom to make your own choices. So you may really be, I'm not going to say, I don't want to say, it may seem rebellious, but it's really not. It's almost more of an inner struggle saying, wait, what am I doing? Challenging those beliefs you have. Where are they coming from? So some sort of, this can be a broken heart, but for me, it's really like the truth hurts and really seeing things for what they are and having to deal with them. Right in the middle of this is this Eight of Pentacles. And this is I love this card. It's one of my favorite cards in the deck. It's about finding that which you love to do. I mean, if this is your job and how you make money, that's my goal, but I have my own issues. I struggle with exactly what we're talking about here. I do have a Libra moon. Finding that which you love to do and making the space and time for it. So this is something that when you're doing it, and it can be anything, it's so individual, that you're totally present. It charges you instead of drains you. And you're not worrying about other things. It's just peaceful, and it feeds your soul. It fills your soul. So work as hard at this as you do at things you don't really give a crap about. Maybe you just have a job that's a job to get a paycheck. And you know what I mean? It's like, make space for this in your life. And then if you're lucky enough and you work and maybe you can make this into your career. So I think that's where you're shifting. Go out with friends. Like you need to self-care. Get out, go to movies, socialize. If you're an introvert, it doesn't mean you have to, go out to clubs or with tons of people, but get together. So you can see this is a nostalgia. Maybe you're going to be like reuniting with some friends from college or your past. They have a photo album. I know we don't use photo albums anymore, but you get the picture. And it just may be that connecting with an old friend, the Six of Cups is also, what did you love to do as a child? What did you spend your time doing as a child? And then figuring out, like, have you gotten away from that because society says you have to be stressed and have a big house and get married and have kids and all this crap? Have you gotten away from what you loved to do as a child and trying to find a way to bring that back into your life and maybe a mature version of it, but maybe you like to finger paint, but maybe you want to do something in the arts, in an art gallery, something like that. So this Three of Pentacles with that energy, like things from the past, getting together with friends, old connections, there could be a job opportunity in here. There could be a business opportunity, networking with people from the past. So this message from the past, and for some of you, it could be, someone trying to weasel their way back in, but for others, it could just be old acquaintance and very positive and not anything to do with a old love interest. And there could be an opportunity in there. It's interesting. Sagittarius got this card in the exact same place. This is educating yourself, taking workshops, practicing, making time, starting to save money, getting a new job, a new career. Could be a message about a job. Taking practical steps to make the changes you want to see in your life. So people would notice this energy. You're doing something different. You're getting healthier. You're working out. You are decluttering. Whatever. You're doing something practical. You're gardening. You're getting outside. You're getting grounded. Things like that. But whatever these shifts that are happening, it's going to spark a fire. And again, that comes back to this Eight of Wands energy, where it's moving forward at a fast pace, and not like a scary pace, but if you're just enthusiastic and you can move forward because the blocks have been removed. And this Elder of Wands, this is being enthusiastic, inspired, motivated. He's like the Steve Jobs of the tarot. Don't get stuck on gender, but he sells the idea, the excitement, the concept, and he's able to keep people motivated and moving forward. You think you start a new project, like, oh, I'm gonna start running, or I'm gonna start yoga, and you go spend all this money on equipment or whatever, and you start, you start and you're like, okay, running's hard. I'm not doing that. This guy would be like, no, come on. You can do it. We can do it. Let's just start by walking. And then we'll move up. And he's able to keep the group motivated to see the results, to see things through to the end. So whatever the shift will be, it's something you're truly motivated to do. It won't be a flight of fancy. Like probably when she was my age, my mom started running, and she is 76 now, and she still runs every day. She gets up, I don't know, actually I was up at like 4:30 today, but she gets up very early and goes running, and it's whatever it is, it's going to stick. It's going to be something you're totally motivated and you're going to see through to the end. It's going to become a part of you. It's not a flight of fancy. It's not something that shiny that caught your attention that doesn't have the sustainability. Will become a part of your way of life, your lifestyle. You may get in a little fender bender. Just saying. It's going to be okay. This is like, what I think is going to happen for some of you. I think it's going to be one of those breakthrough moments where it's like you're still sort of pining over something. Maybe, something happens at work, and then maybe you have a little fender bender in the parking lot, and there's going to be like the straw that breaks the camel's back. It's not going to be anything horrible. No one's going to get hurt. It's not going to be like the end of the world, but something's going to happen where you're just I can see you almost like sitting in your car, just like breaking down crying. And I know it sounds horrible, but it's not. And then you're gonna stop crying and you're gonna just be like, the hell am I doing this for? Like, enough. And sad you got this too. Well, I always get the same themes. That's why I wonder why I do the different zodiac signs, because I should really just be able to do one reading because the same messages sort of come out. But it's sort of that throw your hands up in the air moment where you're just like, F it. Like, trying to force something and that's why it's not working out, and you're just going to let stuff go and surrender and be able to, and then you have all this time, energy, and all these doors start opening up because you're channeling that energy and your thoughts into something positive and a way to move forward instead of staying stuck in the past or stuck on something um, you didn't really want to do anyway, but you were just doing because that's what you're supposed to do. All right, Libra, I hope you have a fantastic June. Take care.